Hold on. Okay. That leaves one last character. And I know you hate him. Johnny. Go on.
Oh. Okay, Johnny, like, he's annoying. He's how should I say? But he fits who he's supposed to be. How should I say this? Like in the original, Johnny was also there, and I think they nailed Johnny. They should have just made a little bit less of it. Like Johnny should only have been in that one scene where he gets taken by the Shinra soldiers, and nothing more.
I mean,
yeah.
He's in the Walmart area.
Ah, yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true.
Well, I mean, he was a childhood friend of hers.
Are they childhood friends? Like, I thought he was just from the slums.
As far as I know.
He represents...
In the original, I believe they were supposed to be childhood friends. Of course, that whole subplot got kind of ripped out, and just the essences are left behind.
Okay.
But yeah,
he has a crush on her. That's the only thing I knew, and he's supposed to represent Sector 7 in my opinion. Like,
I mean, I find him funny, but I get why people don't like him.
Like, that's what I mean. They nailed him, who he is supposed to be, and the scenes, like, there should just be a little bit less of him. Like, you're right. So he was in the wall market in the original. Okay, give him his wall market role also, but not like this. Just give him one scene and it would be they overdid him a bit. I didn't mind him, but he wasn't. It was a bit too much. What I hated, the character that most, as she is number one. Yeah. But what's that robot killed kid's name?
Oh, Chadley?
Fuck Chadley. That's, yeah.
I'm feeling strange emotions right now at what you're wearing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm interested to see where they go with him.
Yeah, down a ravine or something. Down the ravine, like where they go with him.
He's saying like, throw him down a ravine, basically.
Or use him for spare parts. Like.
Fix up Cloud's motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh man.
We never see it. I hope we never see it. It was so annoying. like, what does a small kid, and nobody finds it weird that a small kid travels around a city where grown men have trouble fighting their way through, and a small kid that can do anything he wants? Like, you find out that all normal?
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Not only that, he didn't fit. And in his way of talking, like he wouldn't even get murdered. He would get violated by like, oh, you're a sweet kid, come here. like, yeah. What are you doing there at night?
He feels strange emotions at seeing Cloud in the dress. Don't know what to do. He didn't bother me. He was just there.
Like, I would have, it would have fit him more, like, if he was an old man, like Professor Gast or something, like a real professor.
That'd have been interesting.
Searching for help or something.
Let's see. So we got all the side characters basically. Although I will say one last thing. I did like what they did with shit, what's it? The mayor? I don't remember his name. Domino?
Yeah.
I did like what they did with him. They made him basically the leader of Avalanche. Or their spy in Avalanche.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he was a leader, like you said. He's the spy, or he's, yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Speaking of which, all the changes in 7, and we're not talking about the big one. We're going to dance around that for a bit, but you know, all the other changes.
Yeah.
Apparently, the war in Motua is at a ceasefire.
I think that's not a change, because there was this ceasefire already in Final Fantasy VII, the original also. Huh?
Well, I mean, Motua is basically resorted to a tourist trap in
yeah.
in original.
Yeah. Like, there is a peace treaty, I would say, something like that, yeah.
But I mean, you got that. You had to change in the original, the beginning with the bombing of the reactor. Shit, where are we? Yeah. Avalanche being a splinter cell. Is another one.
Yeah, yeah. That the original Avalanche still exists.
Mm-hmm.
Like that wasn't the thing before, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did you like some of the changes they had, or was there some changes that you didn't care for?
See, so war with Wutai, it could be interesting. Like, it could be a reason to explain the history of the war, just to drop it, not to make it a major team, but just to enhance the experience, I would say.
Especially with Yuffie.
Yeah, yeah. The conflict that she has for it. Maybe she can be a real Wutai spy at some moment.
Instead of just stealing material and running off.
Yeah. And maybe she sells the material, and that's why you don't have material, like I said.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Mm.
That would explain a lot of things.
Yeah.
Although people may hate her for that.
Like, I hope when she steals it, she says, "Ooh, what is this? Knights of the Round material? Oh, yeah, okay, I'll take that one also."
I'm here, I'm going to join your party. Wait, where'd you get the grenade? Oh, I took it from your bag. Wait, I didn't give you the grenade. I can't help I'm a kleptomaniac.
I didn't like how what's the Wedge survived.
That one didn't bother me. The way the whole plate going down and everything didn't bother me either.
Mm-hmm.
They played music over that scene, which I thought may have diluted a little bit.
Yeah.
But Wedge surviving, I thought was actually a pretty good move. They didn't do anything with it.
No, it's just it's why didn't I like it? Like, how should I say this? I'm glad he's alive, but the problem is they diluted the impact of that scene. Like in the original, after the plate fell, I remember being really mad because
well, you lost 3 friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this time,
with him being here's what I'm getting at. Before the ending. Okay, and we'll get to that. Before the ending, him being alive,
mm-hmm.
that you'd got to know. So 1 survivor out of 3. Okay, that was fine. I know. That kind of diluted that whole scene in a lot of ways.
Like only Jesse died, no? Big
Maybe.
Survivor also.
We're not 100% certain of that one.
Yeah.
Besides, she still owes Cloud a pizza.
Yeah. But it's just that, like, when playing the remake and when I saw Jesse and Biggs and that was the first thing I thought, like, oh my god, you guys are going to die. Like, no. And the moment comes and they don't die, and they say, like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you diluting the experience like that? Like,
yeah, I mean,
this should have been.
You go to the plate that falls, and it's a very significant part of the story.
Yeah.
And when that part there is done well, it is done really well.
Yeah.
You run,
yeah,
you get
falling and in the climb. Yeah.
You know, Wedge survives, and he's trying to get out as many people as he can. And you know, you think he dies there. You see Biggs pass away. Jesse, you see pass away. And then you get into the fight, and the whole thing falls down. It was a great tragic scene. But then they undid it at the ending. By, you know, bringing the 2 characters back. Possibly 3.
Like, you haven't played Kingdom Hearts, huh?
Oh yeah, I played all of them.
Oh yeah. Like all that tragedy that has been built up throughout all the games, and all gets undone in the 3rd game, like in such a corny manner. So like, that's what I was thinking when I saw that, especially the ending where Biggs also is alive. Like, why?
Yeah, we'll get to that. But the whole thing is that I think bringing them back just dilutes that scene and kills that moment in the story. Because if they could just come back to life, then there's no, you know, that part of the game doesn't hold its significance hardly anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, people still die, but
yeah.
Yeah, we got some big things we still haven't touched.
Okay, you mean Corneo's belly?
Corneo's what? Belly?
The jiggle physics.
The jiggle physics.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. They nailed Corneo, and they made him even more awesome than he was in the original. Like, and I think the second time that we saw him and he disarms whatever his name is.
Oh, Leonard. He disarms Leonard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you realize why he is the boss. Like, he is a clown, but he still has the skills to be the dog.
Yeah.
Like, the top dog.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of the more interesting areas, and I'm looking forward to seeing him again.
Mm-hmm.
The guy whoever played, I don't know who the voice actor is who played him, but he nailed him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you talking about Don Corneo's lackey? What's his name?
Well, I was actually talking about Don Corneo himself.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they nailed him. He's every bit as scumbag as he should be.
Yeah.
Like,
He's everything.
My favorite character.
Everything
He's your
ugly
favorite
that you would
character.
imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's everything ugly that you would imagine from someone like that.
Yeah,
Not just physically, but like, you know, personality.
yeah, they
That's
definitely
what's
nailed
good
him.
about him.
But you also have the the other new changes. What do you think about the extension of the train graveyard?
I thought that should have been an extra dungeon. Like, I don't think that should have been extended to how long it was.
I liked it. Like the
I liked it.
It was great actually.
It was
also,
good.
the extension
but-
about the ghosts. Okay, no problem. Like, they used the ghosts that were in there in an original manner, so it wasn't that.
Bless you.
Thank you.
There was
Yeah, like I thought it was good, but I definitely think that could have been an extra dungeon or something.
It felt like we got to delay the plate falling as long as possible.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like they were really just trying to delay the plate from falling scene.
Although
Like, that was what that felt like more than anything.
That's true. Like, the pacing was off. Like, you're in a hurry, you need to get there as fast as possible, and you're looking at child ghosts. Like, you're looking for child ghosts. What's up with that? You need to save all those people there. That was the only problem that I had with it. It's like,
Yeah. And that kind of comes more into like the whole thing about them being early. They were like, I don't know, like 30 minutes early, an hour early, and the whispers were like, you know, no, you have to wait. This isn't. You're a little too early for this. And they're like, no.
we completely forgot about one other side character. That's probably gonna be more important in the later games.
yeah. I was going to talk about Roche. Yeah.
Yep, Roche. So what you think of Roche?
Roche. Yeah.
Outside of his amazing boss fight theme.
Like, in the second half, in the final battle, he should have been there also. Like, and just before you fight Sephiroth, like, he should have been there, and he should have come the second time with Motor Ball. And that's the only thing I feel like the game was lacking. Like, why isn't he there, and why isn't Motor Ball there?
You know, I had a theory about Royce. It was when I saw the previews, he was in the previews, and I thought he was going to be like Shinra's bloodhound. You know, trying to track down the Avalanche. And that was going to be like he would be the villain of the game, basically. The you know, Shinra's the villain, but he would be the front villain. Constantly tracking you down. You know, you'd had a few fights with him, and he would have been the final boss fight. Obviously, we didn't get that.
No.
But I thought that's where they were going with it. Instead, we got a third soldier who has an infatuation with Cloud.
Oh yeah, he was like he like had a big heart on for Cloud.
So, you know, and he has a really good boss fight, and likes to ride motorcycles. And then he disappears from the plot. We don't see him again.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm hoping they bring him back and add to him.
That's what I mean. If he came back in the second motorcycle ride on the final highway, and just before Sephiroth, and
I agree.
He was riding Motorball.
That's another thing I got. I don't think Sephiroth should have been the final boss of this game.
No, it should have been Roche with Motorball.
Yeah, because you could have fight. You could have still kept the automotive fight thing that they have at the end, and then had a you know, Roche versus the entire team, and you could have built that out the entire game, and it still wouldn't have took anything away from the game or the original story. But
like,
yeah.
why are you fighting Sephiroth and defeating Sephiroth, and not only Sephiroth, but Sephiroth and all the whispers, so you're godlike beings or something?
Yeah, I know. I think they blew their load too early, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think Royce should have been the final boss in this game, and it would. I think you could have made it make sense, and still kept Sephiroth as a
you know,
a threat.
The weird thing is, I think they were planning that, like how Roche is made, how he is set up. I think they were planning to do it like that, and afterwards they chickened out and they put Sephiroth in, so that to please the fans, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. I mean, I got a buddy of mine. He was like, I want to hear shit. What's it called? One Wing Angel in the game. I was like, well, that shouldn't be until the last game. I want to hear it. I'm like, well, it shouldn't be in this game, dude.
Yeah. Like,
well,
so
that's the thing.
Here's the problem. And why I say they blew their load too early. So they fight Fate. They defeat Fate. And then fight Sephiroth. You're starting, when the second game comes up, they're supposed to be down at the bottom. They've already overcome two things that you would normally fight at the end of a series.
Yeah.
You know, where are they going to go from here? Outside of cosmic horrors or something, I don't know what to do to keep the
Sephiroth.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to keep the elevation up, you know, for the battles. If they can overcome Fate, then why can't they overcome anything else?
Yeah, but forget about Fate. Like normally they should now have that conversation in Call, and where Cloud tells them about Sephiroth and how he's invincible and how he slays dragons. With
Except we've already beat him.
Yeah. Oh, you mean that that loser that we beat 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. They blew their load too early.
Yeah.
You could have spent the whole game, and you know, like you said, kept him in the background, or you know, showed some scenes of him and showed that he's menacing. Maybe do one thing or two things, but don't fight him.
I mean, I would have kept the fight, but it would have been like they lost it, and he would have been like, this is not the final battle, and you know, kind of something like that, like just to show how easily he could kill them, but he kind of just like lets it go for that moment.
And is it Genova that we're fighting actually, or
Yes.
is it Sephiroth?
Yes.
That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know, because it seems like it's him, but I feel like it should be Genova, because it doesn't make sense for Sephiroth to appear here. So, 3 times, you know, like 2 times as her demon form, and then, you know, Sephiroth. That would make more sense.
Yeah, that's another change that we could talk about.
Like, it was just Jehovah, and Sephiroth probably bending Jehovah to his will. That could be it.
I mean,
Like, you know, Sephiroth just manifested through Jehovah, but it's not actually him.
I mean, the whole scene with Jehovah, I guess, is kind of built up, because they do show Marco earlier in the game and the other guy. But
Yeah, and they like, you know, they show all this damage from you know, how she escaped from the tubes and things, the labs.
yeah, and he also had the experimentation underneath Sector 7, which is going into the Whisper territory.
Like, okay, what you know about that? Like, I don't understand how they can do the experimentation laboratory underground, but they didn't get to do the prison, like the imprisonment of Cloud, Genova escaping and killing everyone off.
You're talking about.
Did they do one?
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about where in the original they wake up and they follow the trail of blood.
Yeah. Or the goo, whatever it is.
Well, I mean the original is blood.
Yeah.
But how? Why did they cut that? Like, that was such an iconic part. Like, that's where you knew, oh my God, Sephiroth is this.
Because they got squirrels for brains, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it either, but it's what we got. I mean, there's a lot in the game though. That I'm sitting here, I'm like, why?
Yeah. Why? It's a great game, but they made a few mistakes also. Like, they made a few mistakes.
Well, we've danced around the topic for a long time, so it's time to bring it up.
Jiggle physics.
Yes, the jiggle physics. They were amazing.
Yeah, but like I said, Cornelia has a way more jiggle physics than Tifa has.
But Tifa's got amazing jiggle physics.
You mean she has the...
Yeah.
Very
Hey, is it okay if we take a break for a minute or two? I'll be back in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. And then we'll bring up
No problem.
Then we'll bring up the elephant in the room. My thoughts exactly. Oh, yeah, I guess Kusanagi just fell off. He never showed up.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. His phone or something, I don't know.
I can't believe I lost the first hour of conversation.
We lost the first hour, yeah.
All the talks about the characters I lost. But I've been enjoying the conversation.
That's good.
At least we got the battle system. Oh. Ay.
I'm trying to figure out how I go back inside the honeybee.
Oh, in the original?
Yeah. I had a pass.
I forgot where to go.
It's okay. I'm following a guide.
Oh, I'm playing the remake. Oh, it is the weapon shop you can do. I'll take the part itch. Oh wait, no, it's the iron sword.
I'm back.
Yo,
Welcome back.
there he is. The
Did
man,
you
the
see
myth, and the legend.
Did you see the scene I posted of Barrett's?
I saw you said you had issues with it.
Yeah.
But I hadn't watched
Like,
it.
felt a bit, how should I say, condescending to Barrett. Like,
Where's
he
Marlene?
made him look like a fool, you know?
Where's Marlene?
Yeah.
Say, well, she's here.
It's just, yeah, yeah. That's the only problem I have with Barrett. That scene, like, they had to do it a bit.
Go back in.
It's okay. I can't.
Like,
I won't.
No, I can't go back in the honeybee.
In.
And yeah.
I don't remember if you can go back in or not.
yeah, you saw it, Wallace, by your affection levels in the remakes, like the scene after in the garden, Aaron's garden.
I got Tifa the first time.
Yeah, but did you see the Barrett scene? Because that was really the best one in my opinion. Like
That's a bro scene.
yeah. but he talks about how he handles the losses and how he is affected by it. So
You got that one.
I felt that was.
I was gonna say you got that one. You got the emotional scene with Tifa. And then you have the cryptic scene with Aerith.
Yeah, like don't fall in love with me. They're like.
Too late.
Aerith knows she's going to die there, you know? Like, that's what I got out of it.
That's what I meant earlier. She knows a lot more than she should.
Come on, let's go look in on her.
She would wear a pink dress today.
I said she's sleeping.
Oops. I mean, I get it. You know, he said he's worried about his daughter.
Come on, let's go look in on her. Keep it down. Don't wake her.
Okay, I don't know how to go back in the honeybee. What
There
the
we go.
fuck? Alright. Okay, so, let's see.
The elephant in the room.
Yeah, what's up with the whispers, man? I don't understand them.
I'm going to say this about the whispers. Unnecessary.
Yeah, kinda.
It should have been.
Not there.
I don't think they were unnecessary. Like, I think that the idea was good. And how was the idea good? Like, it gave them, for one, the freedom to,
True.
without invalidating the original story. It also gave us something to look forward to, because now we don't know how the story will progress either. So we can get excited about what we're doing right now. So now we have a reason to talk about the game, like how will it affect everything. So it's interesting in that way. It's just the execution that's bothering me.
Confusing, yeah.
Not confusing, more like why do they look like that? Like why are they wearing hoodies? Like why are they made of like they're chain smokers? Like why?
Yeah.
It should. Why are they people? Look, why do they? It should be a force of nature or something. Like the timeline has been messed with, and the timeline is trying to correct itself. But the timeline shouldn't have a conscience. It shouldn't have hands and a body.
Yeah.
It should be more like how should I say this? You know, there are sometimes time travel movies, like which one is it? Do you know the movie The Time Machine?
Yeah.
Where a guy invents a time machine to save his wife or his girlfriend.
That's unintentionally funny.
And every time he invents the time machine, and every time he tries to rescue her, something else happens and she still dies. And he realizes he can't help her. So every time he does something else, she still dies in some way. So
Yeah.
They should have done more like that. Like the timeline itself resists to all the changes. That should be it. But they did it in such a way, like it's a bit laughable. Like, yeah.
Yeah, the whispers didn't really change Destiny. I mean, not them, but they really didn't keep Destiny on track the way they were meant to. Like yeah, there were times where they did, like they made sure Aerith didn't say anything about what Shiryu kind of knew, or she thought she knew. You know, whatever that was about. They kept the plate in check from falling, or from arriving too early. That was about it.
Barrett back to life.
Oh yeah, they brought Barrett back to life. But then there were times when they kind of failed. Like, I'm trying to remember, there was something that wasn't meant to happen, but it did.
Like,
Yeah, Biggs
you know
and
what's
Wedge, like, they're alive. That's one of the main things. Like, and Jesse, they are still alive, but the Whispers should have made sure they died.
Yeah. Yeah, and they don't even try to correct that.
Yeah, they don't. They didn't. They just left it as it was.
Yeah.
Which was confusing.
Like I said, how should they maybe have done it? Like maybe a sort of flashback effect. Like there should be no whispers, but there is a force that is every time that the timeline is trying to be changing, that it ripples in the timeline. And let's say the moment Barrett gets shot and he dies, you see that happening, and then the flashback effect comes, and he's alive back again, and nobody knows what happened, but he's alive again. Like, why? And this flashback effect happens all through the game every time that the whispers, where they are showing up. But instead of the whispers showing up, that effect happens, and characters are talking about that. So that would be a better way to visualize it, in my opinion. Like, yeah, and maybe like a shattering of glass effect. The moment it gets broken, like the moment that the timeline can't correct itself anymore, that it's irreversibly has been changed, that you get that shattering effect, something like that. It's just something I was thinking now, maybe, but not.
It could have been a possibility to direct it.
I mean, I've heard of rumors around, and there's theories about the whispers all over the place. But
so go ahead. I just wanna. I'm already remember what I want to say. That's why.
And one of them is that the whispers are actually us. We're trying to keep the timeline and how it's supposed to go. That's on a meta thing, though.
But that still doesn't make sense. Just saying.
No, it's like the whispers are supposed to be the fans that are the old fans.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. Why would they fight the fans? That just doesn't make sense.
I get, yeah, but is it something from Squaresoft? No, huh?
I mean, I get that they want to make a excuse me, a Final Fantasy game, 7 game the way they want to make it.
Mhm.
I don't know if the fans wanted that though.
Yeah, but like, I don't think that fandom really cares about even the old school fans. Like, we are. I consider myself an old school fan. Like, it just needs to be done well. It doesn't mean it needs to be the same. It just needs to be done well. Like the Resident Evil first remake. Like, you know, they changed a few things around, but nobody complained about it because the game was so good and the changes were good. RE2 remake, same thing. Over the shoulder, they changed the entire game, but they got the essence.
That's what it ultimately boils down to, though. What you added, what you put in the game, does it actually add,
Mhm.
or does it subtract?
Yeah. Does it make it a better game? If so, the fans will accept it.
And I mean, I know the whispers are very decisive because of that.
No, I think we're unanimous about it. Nobody likes them.
Yeah, that's also true. I mean, they definitely shook things up.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or
It's not
not
that I
that's a
don't
good
like
thing.
them. It's just I don't know what their purpose is meant to be, because it seems like it's clear, but then they don't actually fulfill their purpose completely.
No.
So it just doesn't make sense to me. They're here to keep things on track, but they don't keep things on track. So what is going on?
Yeah.
Sometimes they do, but other times it's like they completely leave things on track.
Like, first time that you see them is with Air, that she needs to stay in her spot so that Cloud can meet her.
Exactly.
And what's the second time? Is it Jessie breaking her?
Jackie's breaking her leg. Yeah, she needs to break her leg and she didn't. So that she couldn't go with them on Sector 5 mission. That was the whole reason they showed up, but it was also kind of dramatic. Like, you had to have like a whole mini boss fight and everything. Like, they could have just broken her leg and that was it. But no, they attacked like the whole Sector 7.
And, you know, they try to prevent you from getting there the entire time.
Yeah, when you have to go back for the bombing. I mean the bombing, sorry, the Sector 7 plate fall.
Yeah, it's just they felt like they that's what I mean. It just felt unnecessary. I get they want to make a new game, you know, entice the story or enhance it. But you could do that without the whispers. Flesh everything out.
No, I mean,
It adds a whole new element
they
to the
needed
game.
a reason why it's changed.
Yeah,
So-
and that's fine.
So, like, but just use something else, a different means, a different end, like a different way of portraying the changes in the story.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. The whole whisper thing just didn't sit well with me. I'm fine with changes, but it ultimately boils down to, does it add anything to the story or not? And the whispers kind of felt like they didn't add anything. Just complicated shit.
Like, I'm freaking Kusanagi out all the time, like by saying like
Spoiler.
it's turn to die this time.
I mean, it does leave up a lot of things, and you know that leads us to the ending, because we do destroy Fate. You know, it's like, do we? I don't even know where to go on with the next one. It could start in calm, it could not. You could be starting to zack. I mean, it's completely up in the air what's going on.
And that's where I want to go with that. You see Zach is, whatever, probably alive, probably not, or still thinking about what that could be right now. But let's say he is alive, and that's because the result of them having defeated the Whispers. Does that mean that the Whispers are not actually some stupid, whatever, will the fans bullshit theory, but they're actually more than that? They are, you know, a part of the story that now is, actually a real divine intervention. Like, really think about it. This could be like an actual god that's trying to keep things in place.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy does have its own. 7 does have a god, Minerva,
Mm-hmm.
which she only knows how to Christ's core.
I actually didn't like that it had a god. Like, the original didn't have anything religious.
Yeah, you didn't need it.
Other Final Fantasies did have that, but that was no problem. That was their world, and that's what they had. But
Well, I mean, it wasn't a big deal in 7.
like Final Fantasy VII had a more naturalistic theme, I want to say. Like the world itself had a conscience, and that was the closest thing to a god that you had, the live stream itself.
So we could say that was the live stream, but we could say that the live stream took a form of its own and said this is not how things are meant to be. You know, that could very well be possible. That's what the Whispers are, part of the live stream, and I know that.
It could also be Sephiroth itself, huh? Like.
But that would also make things even more complicated, would it not?
Like, tell us about how Sephiroth knows he will fail. And
oh yeah, I mean, he knows
I mean, it's kind of implied in the story.
Yeah.
He says 7 minutes to the end.
7 seconds.
He's kind of already, 7 seconds. Yeah.
What will you do?
What will you do? Yeah, like he's already telling him like.
Yeah, I'm so glad he's delivering a bunch of cryptic bullshit.
Like, I think he's trying to change Eris's death, because that's his mistake in the original that he did. Like, he killed Aerith, and that allowed her to get in contact with
the planet,
the holy materia, or not. No, not that. She already activated the holy materia right before she died, but that allowed her to help the holy materia with the live stream. Because she was part of the live stream at the moment. Maybe Sephiroth was thinking, like, I need to fix that. I need to make sure that she doesn't die this time, so that I have only the holy materia to worry about, and not live stream also. So maybe the Whispers are just his his students, or what's those kind of guys called? You know, in the Advent Children, the 3 guys.
yeah, Kadash.
Yeah.
I don't remember the other 2's names.
What's his name?
And, you know, it's theorized that those are the 3 Whispers you fight there at the end.
But that's what I mean. Maybe they are Sephiroth's henchmen doing his bidding.
Possibly. I mean,
So that would make, yeah.
well, I mean, you get to the end of the game, you kill all the fates, you fight Sephiroth. We find out that Zack is now alive, because apparently it had a ripple effect. Also, the dog, I don't remember the damn dog's name, but the dog has changed on the poster. Biggs is now alive. And it's just like, what the hell? Where do you go from here?
I don't remember that. I heard a lot about that dog changing. Like, I don't remember that part.
Well, the original dog was like a terrier, I think, with a helmet on its head.
Yeah.
And it was a poster in a lot of backgrounds. It was even spoken about by Barrett. He even has a song in the game.
Yeah. How did it look at the end?
It was like a Scottish little small dog now, with like a army cap instead of a helmet. The whole thing had changed, and you know, it throws stuff in the air. It's like, okay, what now? You know, Zack apparently, like I said, Zack's alive. Don't get me wrong, I like Zack, but
yeah,
the man was supposed to die.
Yeah.
It's kind of the whole point.
That's one thing that they diluted again. Yeah, that's true.
You know, because that also screws with Cloud. So.
Yeah. Like, what enters me most is Aerostat. How are they going to handle that?
Or are they?
Going to
Are they? That's the key question.
Yeah, what I hope that they don't do is make it some kind of minigame where if you could have made all the right choices, that she stays alive. I hope they don't do that. I hope that it just becomes like, because the timeline has changed, something equally bad is going to happen. But it's not going to be like I said, but maybe Tifa dies. Maybe
yeah,
Tifa
like
dies.
it could change things that now someone else has to die. Yeah, I feel like that's what could happen now.
I mean, all bets are off the table at the moment, because they can pretty much do whatever they want. They've already shown that.
Or Tifa dies and you have to buy DLC.
Oh God.
That would kill line in Kusanagi.
Yeah. Oh man.
But you know, I mean, that's just one of those things that you're just sitting there like, what the hell were y'all thinking?
But I have to give kudos to Squaresoft that did they even patch the game yet?
What do you mean?
Good question.
Did the Final Fantasy remake did it receive a patch since launch?
I believe so.
I don't think it did. Huh?
I think it received one.
Did it?